What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. We have a bunch of tech news stories and a handful of questions. With that said, let's jump into the tech news and our first story, which is going to be about this phone, the Microsoft Surface Duo 2. They announced it today, a bunch of other laptops and devices today, and I did pre-order it, and pre-orders are up right now. If you want to pre-order the Surface Duo 2, it is linked down below. Take advantage of it before it potentially sells out. With that said, let's jump in and talk about what they said about this new Surface Duo 2, because it's looking kind of beastly, and I mean that in a good way. All right, so as you can see right here, this is the Surface Duo 2. It's the same familiar design that you've come to expect. Dual screens. Obviously, the cameras on the back are a new thing because the Surface Duo 1 didn't have cameras on the back. In fact, you get a triple camera setup, and we'll go a little bit more in depth than that. And then you also, on the front screens, you do have some bezel. It is lessened a little bit on there, but ultimately you still get bezel on there. And we work our way down to here. You can see that the price starts off at $1,499. Price is going to be high, $1,499 all the way up to $1,799. When we look here as well, you can see the phone does work with their new pen. So if you want to pick that up, it's going to be an extra $129. The pen does not come inside of the box. Let's check out some quick tech specs on here a little bit. You can see you can do more with two screens. You have 5G now in the phone, 3 cameras, up to 4K video, and it's ultra thin and flexible. And then here's some measurements of the millimeters in terms of how big and wide the display is and all that. You get stereo speakers now, microphones. You have a camera on the front. You do have a new bigger display. So the display across used to be 8.1, it's now 8.3, and each display is 5.8 inches. You get USB-C Type-C charging, you get a SIM card slot, and a fingerprint power button. You then see the camera setup, which is an ultra wide, a wide, and a telephoto, some volume, and again, fingerprint buttons on the right. You have a time of flash sensor, you have the microphones. When we work our way down even further, we do get the exact specs for this device, and you can see that the resolution of this is 1344 by 1892. The battery is now increased up to 49 milliamps, so it's a welcome addition to have a bigger battery in there. Also about the displays, you will get 90 hertz refresh rate, and the glass on there is Gorilla Victus, and 800 nits of brightness. So everything pretty much has been improved. HDR on there. Very impressed with that new improved display. The cameras are 12, 12, 16 setup. The front camera is 12 megapixel. You definitely have some advanced photo and video features with this. 5G, like I mentioned earlier. It does have NFC now for payments and provisioning, but it does not have wireless charging, so keep that in mind if you need wireless charging. This does not have that. You get a Snapdragon 888 with 5G, which is great to see the latest Snapdragon processor in there. A bunch of software from Microsoft and Google comes pre-installed on here. Inside the box, a couple of things. You do get a USB-C cable, but you don't get a charging brick, and you don't get their little case that came in the box last time. So you're gonna have to buy your own case if you do want that. Not the end of the world, but it is something to know. Another big feature that this now has is you see this little outside display on the hinge. So when phone calls come, it will light up that display. When you get notifications, you can see it'll show you the time. It'll show you what type of notification you have. You can also, looks like, control the volume, and it'll show battery charging. So it's nice to have a new display on the outside so you don't have to always open it up to see what's going on. So I did pick one up. I got the 256 gig version, which cost me $15.99. I also picked up one of the little cases that comes that you have to buy separately. That was $40, and I picked up the pen. Probably won't keep the pen, but I definitely will do some videos on it just to show it off, so that you can use it, and you can charge the pen on the side of, or on the back, I should say, wirelessly of the back of that the phone. So it's an interesting device. I'm excited about it, and if you want to join in on the excitement and pre-order your own, it's linked down below. Next up, as you can see from the headline, Galaxy S22 colors from green to gold to dark red. So this is some interesting colors coming along here. So if you're getting an S22 or an S22 Plus, you'll be able to get it in white, black, rose gold, and green. And if you're getting the S22 Ultra, white, black, and dark red. That's really cool. Dark red sounds interesting. I know Apple has a nice red color part of their Project Red, which is part of like the HIV/AIDS thing going on, that they, when you buy that phone, they put a little bit of a donation into that. This is cool. I'm excited about the red. I might, if as long as it's easily available, which it probably won't, it's probably going to be one of the lesser models for the Ultra, but if it's not and it's available really easily, I might pick up that dark red. That's very interesting. Out of those colors, which of the S22's colors would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. Next up, guys, the roller coaster keeps on turning and the drama keeps on continuing with the Samsung Galaxy Note phone. We have literally, if you've been following this, and that's part of the drama of tech and the part of drama that people like, and I'll admit I like the drama, why not, of this phone, is that it's not coming out, it's coming out, it's definitely not coming out, it's definitely coming out. We are back to it not coming out now. That, you heard me right. The last story we did previously was like, it's coming out, it's been seen in the production. We're here again, it's not coming out. I still will stick to my guns and say it's not coming out. And I said that, I haven't really, myself, haven't really swayed too much off that in terms of like, I think the Note's dead. I think it's completely gone. But we've heard otherwise that it isn't. And now we're hearing otherwise that it is. So check this tweet out. This comes from Ice Universe. He's got a good track record. And in his tweet, he's saying that update, this is from yesterday, Note is over. But it's not over. The S phone becomes the Note. And he puts out another tweet saying, update, the angle is between the S and the Note. It is not rounded like the S, but it's not right angle like the Note. What does this mean? What is he saying? And then I'll throw one more tweet in here. This is from Mari QHD, who also has a really great track record, talking about the S22, obviously the Ultra. He says, at the moment, the S Pen, you can put it inside if you want to. And he's saying that's an old leak that he's talked about. So what is everyone saying here? Basically, it sounds like the Note is dead, but it will live on through the Galaxy S22 Ultra because of the fact that it will have S Pen support and you will be able to house the S Pen inside of the Galaxy S22 Ultra. And to add on to that, if you hate the rounded edges of the Galaxy line, the S line, you won't have to worry about that too much because of the fact that we will get slightly squared off edges on the S line. So it's gonna be squared and rounded at the same time, not too rounded, not too squared, somewhere in the middle. And I think that potentially creates a happy medium for everybody, especially if the S Pen can physically go inside of the phone like it did on the old Note phones, and now will also now be able to do that on the new S line. So I'm gonna throw it to you guys. That is your question of the day. Is the S phone with inserted S Pen and slightly squared off edges make you happy enough that the Note can finally die its perfect death? Let me know in the comments down below. With that said, guys, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that. First question comes from Raystone. Are you ditching the Fold 3 for the Surface Duo 2? I don't know. I mean, I am getting the Surface Duo 2, but am I gonna switch off and get rid of the Z Fold 3? I don't know. Obviously, I haven't played with the Surface Duo 2 yet, so I can't say yes, I adamantly will switch off of it. I honestly don't know. I'm going to give the Surface Duo 2 a good hands-on, will I switch over to or not? And it is a phone I could potentially switch to because I do like these dual screen or folding phones more so than candy bar phones. So you never know, but obviously you'll be along for the ride, hopefully, and I will let you know then. Next up is Mark Edwards saying, do you think it's about time phone manufacturers concentrated on battery innovations, technologies to allow bigger batteries, capacities to allow thinner phones, or thicker phones to allow bigger batteries? That is a great point. I think we are at a point where it's not so important of how fast the phone is or how much RAM it has, because we're at a perfect medium now with these phones. Like, these phones are great performance. You can grab a Snapdragon 855 phone, and as long as the software is pretty optimized and updated and running well, you can get great performance out of it. You can grab something like a 765 which isn't even a top-end processor, and it runs great. I mean, sometimes it overheats, but generally it runs great. So like, what's the point of continually pushing, getting better performance when we don't really need it for our day-to-day operation? So yes, I would love to see more innovation, more and bigger batteries put into phones, and get us to the battery promised land. That's what we need at this point. So do it, manufacturers. What do you guys think? You guys agree with me? Bo knows, do you think you would be less excited about folding phones if the manufacturers made more shorter and wide phones versus tall and skinny? Love your show. Thank you. I would love a Galaxy, where is my Galaxy? There it is. I would love a Galaxy, and I've said it a million times, I would love a Galaxy Z Fold 3 with a wider front display. Something still holdable that I can hold in my hand with a pop socket, but wider. And then on this, sure, make this bigger too. I've said it a million times, make it a little, I don't care, make it bigger, because with a pop socket, anything's possible. It's so much easier to hold your phone and still, you know, reach it with the other hand, just like you're a painter with an easel. So yeah, I would love for them to make everything bigger on these folding phones, wider. I'm not too much into the taller and skinnier thing. Mr. D's product review channel says, folding Note phone should be double the size of the current Note 20 Ultra when opened. The outer screen can be the same size as the current Note 20 Ultra. Why can't Samsung make it like that? Samsung already has a few fold designs, and 10 designs done with can make a Note Fold significantly better and make it into a beast of a phone. What if there were a petition describing exactly this? Then do you think that Samsung would take this into considerations? I'll be honest with you, I don't think a lot of companies take into consideration anything to do with petitions, so I wouldn't even go that route. And then to add on to that, do I wish I had I'll just grab this phone for instance, which is the Xiaomi phone. Like if the phone was this big on the outside, thickness, yeah, like that's what I'm aiming for, that's what I want. I want them to do something like that. So yes, I'm with you. Make it thicker, just like I said, make it bigger, do it. Jack Kelly says, what do you think about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro? Will you buy it when it comes out? I probably won't have to buy it. Google's been really kind and nice to send me over their devices and allow me to do videos on them and keep it and do all that stuff. So I probably won't buy it, especially if they send it to me. If I wasn't getting it, would I buy it? Yes. I think it's one of the only candy bar phones coming out that I can personally think of that I'm seriously excited about, that I really am excited to get my hands on. Not only because, not just because it's a Pixel phone, because I actually like the Pixel phones a lot, especially the cameras. The cameras are amazing, but also there's high-end specs in this again, like to make it compete with Samsung. It also has its own processor. So there's a lot to like about this phone, especially if you're a person that's looking for an alternative to the Galaxy line, but you want to stay on Android and you live in America. This is a great alternative, or at least looking like one. And our last question of the day comes from Mr. Davis. I think the Note should be the biggest phone in the Galaxy line, including the Galaxy Z Fold, when it's closed, and should always be the only one with a built-in S Pen to keep the Note alive and in a league of its own. What do you think? I don't think, well, should it be the biggest phone they offer? No way. It would be, I mean, this is the Microsoft phone, but like if it was like this and it was huge, it's just gonna be ungodly to hold, most likely. So I would say no to it being the biggest phone, because I think folding and dual screens, I think those have a place and a purpose with holding a device for the ergonomics. In terms of it being the only fold with an S Pen, I don't know. Samsung has showed me that it shouldn't be, because they're going to eventually create devices in all different categories where you can and want an S Pen, such as the Z Fold line, because they're going to have big, huge displays. They have it on their tablets, which have big, huge displays. They're going to have it on and they do have it on the S20. This isn't the S22, but the S22 line, or S21 line. So they have reasons for it. And then you look at other manufacturers as well, such as Microsoft. They have it on their tablets, their computers, their phones. So a lot of people that have S Pen support allow for it to be used on different devices. So no, I don't think the Note should be the biggest, and I don't think the Note should be the only S Pen phone. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, leave them in the comments down below with the word question. I will answer it in tomorrow's video. With that said, we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.